Portrait mode. No. Okay, I don't know how to change the settings, so here I am. Okay, so I am in All Saints in Marlow, which is on the Thames. The regatta's happening. I can show you some of that shortly, hopefully. I just was speaking to a lovely lady who allowed me into the church, and the ground was consecrated 1,000 years ago, and the church that I'm standing in is 1836 with some slight modifications or additions rather, I don't know, a couple of decades later. So, and there's somebody coming in, so I'm just going to move across because I'm right up at the, how do I flip around? Yes, I am at the altar end, as it were. So, I don't actually know much about this church because unfortunately I didn't have a chance to do research because I'm heading back shortly. So, 1836 is a year before Queen Victoria ascended the throne. There are, I don't know how good the lighting is, but up there, those are family crests, but I'd love to be, I don't have glasses on, and it's in Latin anyway, so, oh, this one is in English, it says, my trust is in God. I still have no idea which family it's for. So there are memorials around those, that's pretty impressive. I just haven't done a stream for ages. Let me turn around a minute and get used to holding this silly thing sideways. So like I say, the regatta, the boat, I don't know if it's the boat race, but that's on, and I will show you the grounds because they are beautiful, but it's so warm outside. So there's a nautical association, obviously, because this is on the Thames River. I don't think it's going to mirror, but I'm going to flip it around anyway. And I can't see the comments at the moment. I apologise if anybody's spoken. So those are in English, so those may be the additions. But this is an Anglican church anyway. So there's no, what do you call it, back and two type stuff. I think that was for spoken sermons anyway. Richard Davenport, Esquire, of this parish. So this is, I'm pretty confident this is, I should know I'm here, Oxfordshire, but it could be Buckinghamshire because, yep, that's just the case, because they're closely linked. That's an interesting picture that I'm going to show you. Interesting in as much as the pigmentation of the child, but also the fact that it's in the church, and there's no explanatory. Oh yes, there is. I do apologise. It's 1811. It says, wow, you can't read it. According to the plaque on the original frame, this portrait of George Alexander was painted from life in 1811 and was commissioned by John Richardson and given to the county of Buckinghamshire, there you go, after he died. And it normally hangs, it's a very similar one. It's a similar child anyway. This boy was born to black African parents who were slaves on a plantation on the Caribbean island of St. Vincent. And from birth, he attracted attention and curiosity because of his piebaldism. And there you can hear the church bells. So I'm just going to scoot you around, I guess, and I'm going to try to find out how to find my comments. Everything's changed. I'm so sorry. I've been, well, unwell, but also remiss. And they've got a real life prayer board, not a QR code, because when my grandmother was just passing away, I'm not going to talk about that much, but yeah, I went into quite a few churches to ask to put her name in the prayer book, and they directed me to QR codes. You can imagine my response. So, oops, sorry, I just nearly went through a floorboard. So, there's a small, I guess what was a small, like a lady chapel maybe. Let's see who's on the, right, I'm going to show you the windows. Am I going to flip you around or, yeah. No, yeah, I am going to flip the camera. Sorry if it's making you feel nauseous. Right, so there's Anna. No, I can't read without my glasses. Saint. No way, there's no possible chance I could read them because they're not in English also. But I think that says Anna over there, but I may be hugely mistaken. That's obviously Christ. Oh, there's not Father Christ, there's St. Nicholas on the right and John the Evangelist on the left. For such is the kingdom of heaven. So that's children with Christ at the bottom. And I'm so sorry about. Oh, and there's St. Nicholas as well. I'm guessing not breaking into the house. Oh, yeah, it says secretly leaving the poor dwelling. So if you don't know the story, St. Nicholas, I think he gave a dowry initially. He left some money for a gentleman who had 3 daughters and didn't have money to have them married. But technically he broke in and did a reverse burglary. Those are Tudor, but that's all I can tell you about these people. Lieutenant, Grenadier Guards, fell in the Battle of the Somme. That's not him above, surely. No. Okay, so let me flip around because somebody, I'm so sorry, somebody's, I think they're in for prayer, but I may have disturbed them. Okay, so, who is... Come unto me, all ye that labour and are bravely laden, and I'll give you rest. So 1894. Who is it in memory of? Oh, I don't know. Charles Drummond. So there's Agnes Day in the middle. There is a winged lion on the left, and could be a phoenix. Not sure on the right. I must reacquaint myself with some heraldry. So this at one stage, I'm guessing, sorry about the flipping around, would have been a smaller chapel. I'm going to take you outside in a moment, but as I said, it's very warm. So the Mothers' Union of, let me show you the embroidery. That's, let me come up the step. The Mothers' Union of Marlow. Bless. These are all death memorials. There's a small, I think maybe people entered in that, like from this direction at one stage, but at the moment it's not being used. So it says this chapel was founded in 1925 in the memory of members of the, what does that say? Oh, Weathered family. Okay, so that must be one of the additions that the lady spoke about. Kindly let me in. Right. Let me... I'm going to take you up and show you. Not nearly. I'm just going to wait for the lady to finish having a look herself. So there are grave markers on the floor from 1722. Somebody who was 70. Oh, she's 7.5. It's worn. This girl was 38. 1727. That means he was 78 because the calligraphy was a little different then. Okay, let me just sit for a moment. I don't want the lady to think I'm filming her. Okay, I'm going to flip you around again and show you. I wish I could see. Is that the bit for comment? No, I have no idea. Right. This is all going swimmingly, darlings. Okay. I did try doing a stream yesterday, and I have a new phone, and it just said no. Literally, it kept counting down to live and then just stopping. So they really are much more beautiful in real life than on the screen. Oh, I'm so sorry. I have a thing about something just flew past my ear. Obviously. Oh, go away. Excuse me. Right, so let me flip around because I promise you I silenced the other phone before I started. Okay. I'm inside the church and I'm doing a live stream. Thank you. All right, bye. Okay, so I will be outside the church shortly. Oh, how sad is that? Haven't I'll drop my phone. But it says here lies interred the body, and then the steps are covering it. I'm sure they wouldn't mind doing the service, but still. Okay, let me put this phone away. Yeah, the phone, and then I'm going to take you outside, and I'll show you the the river, and the churchyard is pretty enough and old enough. There are 18th century burials outside, but also mainly 19th that I saw on the way in. Right, so let me pretend that I'm not auditioning for the role of donkey because I have a heavy bag with me. I feel like I'm in the kind of area where people are not going to put their hand in it though, so let me just try and get it off my bag. Do excuse me while I have a senior moment. If that fly comes past my ear one more time. Okay. Let me not show you me being an old lady, as it were. Let me just kind of try to do one-handed stuff. I know what I'm going to do. She said, talking to her literal self. I'm going to put the phone in the smaller bag. Right, here we go. I do apologise again. I didn't say that. Okay, let's try one more time. Right. I apologise for the fact that you're going to be looking at in a minute because I have to zip this bag up. Okay, let's see if there's anything that is more attractive than this. No, it's just wooden beams, but it's always good to look up in the church. So, oh my gosh, knock yourself out for one moment while the orientation on the phone decides to be complete. Oh, it's like I've never had to move in the heat before. Okay, that's it. Oh my goodness. Okay. What is, like I say, going swimming? Okay, so, oh yeah, nautical, I did show you that, didn't I? There's I'm guessing First World War soldiers. I'm not really up to scratch on uniform differences. I could if I wasn't as hot as I am, basically. Okay, and I'd love to be able to look at anything other than my own face on the screen. Right, I want to show you the outside of the church, but it's much more attractive from a distance, so maybe I'll make that the screen grab. Okay, I'm going to flip you around. So this, right, so let's walk down toward the Thames, and then I'll just spin around, I guess. I don't think you can see much of the exterior from this silly vantage, but I think that's like a representation of a green man. He has leaves and foliage all around, but not the traditional kind of... Either way, I'm going to stop doing stuff out loud like that until I know what I'm talking about. So, this is, I think, the older part of the church, well, the cemetery, because... Well, let me just confirm that rumour. Well, not necessarily, actually. These are 19th century. Yeah, 1818 there. So, I think they must have started at the front. Okay, so this... I think we've missed the rowing boats. This is the part of the Thames that I'm on. It really is beautiful around here. I'm not going to get that going in. I don't want to film looking at it. Right, this is the side view of... Oh my goodness. The church. And these are still very old graves, even if they're not as old as I... yeah, these are still 19th century. So that's just beautiful. Oh, that's 20th century. Anyway, so I'm just going to scoot around for a moment. Yeah, and I shall have to sort my phone out, because this is my part-time phone, if that makes sense. Yeah, and I'll do a proper stream once I'm back in London. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I'm the odd kind of person who reads gravestones for, well, not fun, but you know. Where did I see it? I'm convinced that when I came in I saw 1700 and so I did, but it's quite a largish. Let me show you around again, because I think people think I'm pointing out this, but I am now. One sec. Right, so those are more modern. 1850s. Let's see. These are 17. Okay, so yeah, 1792. I know you can't really see it at all. It's very pretty calligraphy. Let's think. I think that's 1869. That's 1870, 1859. Imagine that. Sorry, I'm just thinking to have lived and died by like the early 19th century. This is... Which year is this now? Somebody was 14. Less than. 18. Just prior to Victoria. There's some very simplistic ones. I mean, they survived the test of time more completely, because there's not much to weather off. I did see like a Templar cross or a Maltese cross. I'm going to walk towards it now. Oh my goodness. It is rather warm, darlings, and I do wish I could see. Okay, so, oh my goodness. I was pointing you towards myself now. Excuse me while I just have my brain fried. So that made the wood pigeon fly. Not onto me, darling. Okay. They're so, like, small and... I mean, apparently this person couldn't afford a name, like, as in, she's got 3 initials. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there are some, I don't know, buried ones. Yeah, these are 1870s. It looks frightfully old, but it may just be from a different stone than the rest, or one that's more prone to up past the mid 1800s, because I'm looking at the one behind that's made of the same stone. If you're wondering, how does she know this stuff? She just kind of ad-libs, really. I don't really want to walk through the grass, but I want to see those. No, I'm not going to, because I'll be eaten alive by bugs. Yeah, they're all very irregularly spaced, because I don't know if you're all aware, I'm not so sure in outside of London, but in London, which was always, I think, the most populated part of England, or most densely populated. So what would happen is, being buried and remaining, like interred in the ground, is relatively new. The Before the Cemeteries Act, or before cemeteries, like not independent, without churches, like before graveyards were the Magnificent Seven and stuff, there was a system of just burying people uniformly across the grounds, and then going back to the beginning and disinterring the bones once they weren't in boxes, once the bones were clean, as it were, they were put into a ossuary. That word rings a bell. Like a repository for bones. Still like a sanctified space, but there was just so much. I mean, there were far less people, but so much. There was such a higher incidence of death in childbirth and childhood and generally. But that's enough of that charming shenanigans, and I really cannot see any green screen. I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm going to stop doing it immediately, because no, now I've got a green screen, have I? That's wild. I don't want a green screen though. Oh, is that no green? Right, who knew? Well, I've learned something accidentally. Wait, sorry, I'm just signaling to my friend. So that's beautiful too. I don't know what that building is, but the chimney kind of looks like a boat, which is very sweet. Okay, so I'm going to walk you down this little high street before I twiddle pip, because I have a transport to catch. Oh, sorry, it's very warm. Some of my ancestors were from very close to here. Sorry. It's a very brave one. It's pushing a buggy and trying to navigate a toddler by voice command. Not even connected by hand. Okay, so it is very picturesque, but I'm going to kind of, I don't know, just flip the camera maybe around so I don't know why I'm in portrait, by the way. And I can't exactly interact with you either because of said inability to see any commands that I usually see on the phone. I don't know how to take the orientation lock off either. Oh, I'm over it in this heat. Well, I'm not, but you know what I mean. There's just a door. I love a door. Obviously, it's not little enough for me to really love it. But it's not a building, it's just a Nerquid Periat Horace non numero nisi serenus. Something about lack of numbers, and I wouldn't want to guess. I mean, I could make it up, but that would be silly. Yeah, it's just a little gateway for a house. There's an actual Georgian dragon. Not an actual dragon, but a pub called the Georgian Dragon, which is pretty traditional. That's what I was going to tell you. Yesterday, I tried live streaming. I went to a vineyard and a brewer's and a winery, and I've said it before, but I am going to there's a memorial here, sorry, for the Royal Navy and Army and Royal Air Force, commemorated by this cross. Doesn't say which conflict. I don't know. Right, so first or second. Yes, I'm going to make a video about the origins of inns, taverns and public houses, of which this Georgian dragon, there you go, is one. I'm not advertising the George or the dragon or the pub. Okay, right, so I'm just going to show you this cutesy little high street because it's cutesy, but I don't mean all the shops, I just mean a little view. And then I'm going to have to go and sweat. I mean, I'm sweating alone anyway, technically, but it's rather warm to be in black, one might say, when one planned one's outfits. and the weather before coming out. But all my clothes are like. Right, yeah. So there's like a little fun fair thing, and because of the regatta, I think just these couple of days. Yeah, I'm going to get one over because I've got nice across the road. That's a little high streetiness. I love a bit of bunting. I imagine the bunting is maybe regatta related, or maybe just permanent. That would be nice. Right, I is going to sign off because I found a tiny bit of shade, and I need to remember how to. I don't even know how to stop the stream.
Yeah.
Nothing happens when I press that then. Okay, so, yep, I'm going to press the little Xy thing, and yeah, if I get a chance, I'll make, if I see, maybe I'll just make a little short video alone. People do think I'm filming. Okay, so, lots of love. Sorry it's been ages. Ill health / bereavement / it's not slashing, really, but also, yeah, just other stuff has gotten in the way, but it doesn't mean that every day I don't think, oh my gosh, I really should. And I had plans to go to Speaker's Corner this prior weekend, and just life conspired, really. But there are some great things also that have happened that have kept me busy. So I will fill you in eventually. And I would love to not be in portrait and be able to see somebody. Right, lots of love. I'm gonna press that button, and then it should. Yes, I am sure that I'd like to stop streaming. Thank you, YouTube, for interacting with me. All right, God bless, and yeah, please pray for the persecuted church. I already filled in the slip, and the lady was amazing in there. She actually knew about like Nigeria and persecution and stuff, which makes me oddly happy. She was, yeah, the PC brigade had not found her yet. All right, anywho, lots of love. Ciao, ciao. Bye.